A child is sitting at a child services center. His mother is in the hospital and his father is behind bars. The child is recovering from the large amounts of bumps, bruises, and traumatizing moments he has endured. His mother is sitting in the hospital resting while her broken ribs are healing. The child's life is just beginning, but he has already experienced too much for such a young age. His mother can't do anything to help him now because she is injured, and his father will have no right to see him again once he is let out of prison. One family is now torn apart because of the taunting and demanding actions of a father and husband. Although this is a hypothetical story, this has happened and it continues to happen to families across the United States each day. How different would your life be today if this had happened to you? The problem is domestic violence is occurring more and more often and in more and more homes. Domestic violence occurs every day. As stated in the For Domestic Violence article from the Safe Horizon website, last updated in 2012, domestic violence can be physical as well as emotional. As referenced by Irene van der Zane, from the Kid Power website, copyrighted in 2011, domestic violence rates have risen by 10% in the past 2 years. According to the Kid Power website, domestic abuse occurs mostly between spouses, but the child rates have greatly risen in the past few years. According to the Gangs, Youth, and Domestic Violence article, last updated in 2011, found on the Student Research website, domestic violence still occurs today and is most often accompanied by drug and alcohol abuse. As referenced by the Gangs, Youth, and Domestic Violence article, victims of domestic violence can be of all ages, race, and ethnic groups. As most of us may know, not all victims are women and many are men. Also, more victims of domestic violence today happen to be children. As stated in the Domestic Violence article, written by Liz Kramer, last updated in 2011 from the Georgetown University Law Center, domestic violence is regarded as a widespread problem in American society. The effects of domestic violence are terrible. As referenced in the Effects of Domestic Violence and Abuse article, last updated in May of 2008, on the Southern Adelaide Health Service website, there are long and short-term effects of domestic violence. Some of the short-term effects include physical injury, emotional injury, anxiety, depression, social isolation, and fear. The long-term effects include isolation, poverty, disability, anxiety, depression, and post-traumatic stress disorder. According to the long-term effects of domestic violence article, last updated in 2011 from the Clark County Prosecuting Attorney website, many of the physical injuries sustained by women seem to cause medical difficulties as women grow older. Arthritis is one of the major effects of domestic violence. Also, hypertension and heart disease have been identified as directly caused by domestic violence early on in a woman's adult life. Also referenced in the Effects of Domestic Violence and Abuse article, domestic abuse can be a cycle in the family. A lot of domestic abuse in homes today is turned towards children. If you are a child who is being abused or has witnessed abuse, it is more likely you will become the abuser as you grow older because it is what you have been taught and what you believe is to be right. We need to educate more people about domestic violence. To do this, we will hand out brochures and flyers to high school and college students, which will further educate them about domestic violence. The brochures and flyers will contain facts and true stories about people who have been affected by domestic violence. They will also contain many statistics about the different people and populations who are domestically abused. They will also include the causes and effects of domestic violence, and finally, the flyers and brochures will include a hotline for people to call if they witness domestic violence or if they themselves need help. The brochures and flyers will be successful. They will work because people will be reading them and will learn more about the facts of domestic violence. People will know more about what causes domestic violence, as well as the many effects it can have. Finally, they will educate more people about why and how domestic violence occurs. Things will get worse if the actions I'm requesting aren't followed. Physically, the American society will worsen if domestic violence is not weakened. More people will be domestically abused, therefore creating more problems and injuries. You will continue to see it affect people whether it is now in high school with your friends or later on in college or at work with your peers. Also, more people will have the effects and memories of the violence their entire life. If it is not weakened now, there will continue to be a cycle of domestic abuse that doesn't falter, creating more problems. Finally, people will not know who they should trust and where they should go to feel safe. I need your help to stop domestic violence. To do this, you can contact Susan Sass, President of the Domestic Violence and Affairs Society. She can always be reached by telephone at 320-241-8795 or by email at sue.sass@domesticviolence.org. All you need to do is contact her and tell her you want to help. She will give you different ideas of how you can help or will take any ideas you offer. Most people hang up flyers, make brochures, and take classes to help inform others. Call today and you'll become one more person who helps make a difference.